Good morning, good evening, hello, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Awaken It Within with myself, Laura, and Adele, who unfortunately couldn't make it today, but she'll be here in 2 weeks' time as well. And this show today is going to be, this show is about health, well-being and beauty. So welcome everybody who are returning and anybody who's new. Let us know in the comments if you're returning, if you're a regular, or if you're brand new to SPTV. We'd love to hear. We'd also love to hear if you are where you are in the world as well. So let us know on that. We have an exciting show today. We have the lovely Claudine Martin, who is going to come on. She's a clinical somatic educator, and she's going to speak about her journey of somatics and how somatic can help you. So it's going to be an amazing show today. So I'm so looking forward to it. And we also will be having live readings as well, to let everybody know that you can come on Zoom with us and you can be on screen with us and have the readings. You can also ask Claudine questions as well, and you can come onto the screen and you can speak to us that way as well. So it's all exciting, all new. So very, very excited about what's going to be happening today. So let us know in the comments. So I've got hi Serendipity, nice to see you again. She's saying hi everyone. She's got a big smiley face and she's joining us from YouTube there. And you're in Leeds as well. How's the weather in Leeds? I'm in Croydon and the sun is shining today. It looks really nice, really springy today. So welcome. Hi Helen. And Helen is saying that she's a regular from Wiltshire. So nice to have you back, Helen. Nice to have you here. And she's tuning in from Facebook. We've got Pierce and they're saying good morning as well. They're tuning in from Facebook. So welcome to the show. Sandra, good morning all. Good morning to you, Sandra. She's tuning in from YouTube. And we've got Helen Smith. Good morning. And beautiful flowers there as well, making me feel very spring-like. And we've got my sister, Hannah. She's tuning in from YouTube. Good morning, Hannah. How are you doing? Lovely to see you. We've got Christine Davis. Good morning to you, Christine. Lovely to see you here. And Sandra is new to the show, so big warm welcome. You'll find that this is a lovely family, lovely community. And anything you want to ask in the comment box, please go ahead and ask Sandra. You're more than welcome here. We've got Dawn Simpson. Good morning from, I'm going to move my little box out the way, from Stoke-on-Trent. Good morning there, Dawn. We've got Neil. Hi, Neil. How are you doing? He's tuning in from Facebook. Good morning to you. Lovely to have you here. Helen Smith is from Manchester. So hello from Manchester. Let us know what the weather's like there in Manchester. Anne Davis as well, with lots of flowers. She's saying hi. So hi, Anne. Let us know in the comments as well if you have been tuning in regularly and you've started to do some of the practices from the people that we've brought in. We had the inner child practitioner come in. We also had the EFT, someone come in and speak about EFT as well. Let us know if you're using any of those and if any of it's helping you as well, or it's something you've researched a little bit more into. We'd love to know. Tammy is saying hi from all the way in Australia. So hi, Tammy. Lovely to have you here. And we've got Karen as well. Good day from the Gold Coast, Australia. Another person from Australia. So hi. Oh, another Australian here. So good day from Australia, Laura. Good day to you too, Kelly. Lovely to have you here. And Neil was saying it's sunny in Brighton, like a summer. That is, oh yeah, it's really nice here as well, Neil. So we're going to now, I'm going to introduce our special guest for this morning. We have Claudine Martin. And she is a clinical somatic educator, as I mentioned earlier. So hi, Claudine, how are you doing today?
Hi, Laura. I'm doing very well. Hope you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Lovely to be here today. Lovely to be here with everyone.
Yeah, lovely to be here.
Oh, and so tell us a little bit about how you got into to become a somatic educator, Claudine.
Yeah, so I had a bit of an ongoing journey with hip pain, which started for me back in my late 20s after an injury. I've always been active and liked, doing physical stuff,
Yeah,
exercise and the rest of it. But I had this injury after doing kickboxing, and it took me some time to heal. In fact, it took me a long time to find somebody to help me heal this particular injury, which was quite a complex injury apparently after that. And once I'd actually found somebody to help me, what I thought was, okay, I'm over it, get on with life. But what happened for me was that the pain came back. Um, and I remember going back to the guy that I saw saying, the injury's healed, so why have I still got pain? And he'd been great up until that time because he was the one that really helped me out of the problem. But what he then said to me was quite vague, and he was like, "Well, you probably just need to come back for a bit of an MOT now and again." But he couldn't really explain why I was still in pain, and so then I realised that it wasn't just about the injury; there was something else going on, and so I was actually at the beginning of what became like this massive journey that I went on. So I ended up having to give up the things I love doing because it was just I couldn't run anymore. I didn't feel free in my body. So I started to feel this kind of closing in. And so I started yoga and got better connected to my body, and I thought, right, okay, now I'm on the right path. And that led me onto a spiritual path, which was by far the best thing that I ever did. But I was still in pain. It didn't actually solve the problem. And in fact, it gradually over time seemed to be getting worse. And I felt like I was doing all the right things, but I didn't quite have the way in. So I kept trying different therapies and, did all the right things. But I had all this kind of experience that I felt like I know my body. I worked in fitness and the rest of it. I'd done all the anatomy and physiology and
yeah,
exercise and all the rest of it. But I was still in this chronic pain. And so I just was on this journey, and then I suddenly came across something called somatic education. It was about 10 years ago, and then things finally started to shift for me because I um, was in a situation where I was listening to the the way the body, about how the brain and the body work together, and I started to realize, oh, this is the thing that I knew that was missing, that I didn't have any entrance to. So it felt like the missing piece of the puzzle to me, and on that basis I was like, right, okay, this is it. And when you find something like that that makes complete sense, and what was being described to me is what I'm going to talk a little bit more about today, which is something called and it sounds a bit of a thing, but sensory motor amnesia. And really, what that just means is the brain has lost either full or partial control, voluntary control, over its ability to sense and to move the muscles freely. Um, Muscles have one function, and that's to contract, and it's the brain and the nervous system's job to release the control of the muscle and to release the contraction of the muscle. um, and if that becomes impaired, what happens is we have this chronic muscular contraction that limits our movement, it distorts our posture, it creates imbalance in the body, and of course, pain. And so with this sensory motor amnesia, what happens is the muscles become so tight due to repeated responses really to stress that they just don't relax, even when you sleep. So when I heard this, I was like, yeah, I totally relate to that, because
yeah.
I'd have times where I'd wake up with like muscle spasms and cramps in my thigh, and I
Oh,
just couldn't get comfortable at night. And some of you might also have experienced similar things. But these muscles that were so tight, my nervous system just wasn't allowing them to let go. So I realized that was my problem, this sensory motor amnesia.
So, Claudine, so are you saying that there was no problem with you with your hip overall? It was the way you were holding your hip because you're in pain, and then
Exactly.
that carried the pain then carried on throughout. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
exactly. Yeah. We often think that it's a structural problem, and most people dealing with this kind of thing are looking at you from the outside in as a body, and
Hmm.
they're like, okay, we're just gonna, if we just move your body and we do different things externally, it solves the problem. But the trouble is we work as a system. And so
Yeah,
what happened is this chronic muscular contraction had been holding me in such a way that it restricted my ability to move. So, you know, joints become stiff and stuck, right? And this is where, you know, things like problems like arthritis start, is where there's been some holding going on, and then it
interesting.
affects the way that the body moves. So yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Claudine, could you explain a little bit to myself and the viewers what exactly is somatic? What does that mean?
Yeah, sure. So the word itself is quite a generic word. You may have heard it before.
Yeah.
It simply just means to what it feels like to be in your body. It's your own internal awareness of yourself, of how you feel, um, how you experience emotions and feelings and so on. So that's what the word means in itself. And the process I'm describing here is somatic education, which is really a re-education of your ability to sense yourself fully from the inside.
It sounds so powerful, and it's changed your life as well after having pain and trying to find different things to ease the pain and not having the answers to why you were having the pain. So it's really helped you. So that's wonderful. Serendipity has she's written a comment here. I'm doing inner child work by meditating and putting my hands on my heart chakra and solar plexus. Got people at my meditation class doing that too. Oh, that's wonderful. So serendipity is using the things that we've done the past few over the last couple of months, and she's integrating it into her practices and for other people. So that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Has anyone got any comments for or any questions for Claudine as well? You can write them in the comments box, but you can also come onto Zoom and you can come and speak to myself and Claudine as well. So Sandra here is saying, I recently came across somatic video. I was trying to understand how it worked. So this is very fascinating. Thank you for so clearly explaining it. It was very clear. It makes
Oh,
sense to
good.
me as well. So it's
Good.
about
Thank
really
you, Sandra.
feeling within your body, isn't it, Claudine? Like,
It is,
yeah.
yeah. But I want to take you a little bit further because
Mm,
it's kind of, well,
please.
how does this muscular tension develop? Because it doesn't come from nowhere, right?
Yeah,
So our sensory system, our sensory motor system that governs our muscles and our movement and so on, works in a particular way. Now, when we are called to action, so if somebody was to say, you know, if somebody's knocking on your door now and you're like, oh, I've got to quickly rush to get the door, there's an action that happens in your muscles, primarily your back muscles, which sends you forwards to kind of go and get that done. Now, because we are in our society and world, the way we live, everything is so busy, that response gets invoked all the time, over and over and over again. So what happens is it becomes learned in the brain, because your brain goes, okay, that's how you want us to move, we need to be as efficient as possible. And so those muscles become slightly contracted and they never quite fully release because they're going, oh, you know, they're being, you know, invoked over and over again. And what happens is that tension develops in that way. So that's one response. There are two others. One is the startle response, or sometimes called withdrawal response, where we pull in,
yeah,
and that might be in response to worry, stress, apprehension, negative emotions, but it can also be just simply spending a long time over a computer or a desk.
yeah,
And what happens is the muscles, again, they get to stay tight because we're constantly drawing in, and then we end up with, you know, rounded shoulders and tight necks and, you know, all this kind of thing. And then there's a third one, which is what I was referring to, kind of was where I was at, which is called the trauma reflex, which simply means like physical trauma that, you know, happens to one side of your body. So if you have an accident or an injury, or let's say you have surgery, something will happen where, you know, the body will kind of cringe or go into a protective mode, um, and start to hold muscles more on the one side of the body. So it distorts us in that way, and it becomes habitual. But then what happens is that these stress responses are, you know, they're going on all the time. We're constantly responding, and so
Yeah.
we kind of get tighter and tighter, and we end up in where these stress responses kind of congregate in the middle of the body, um, and it kind of creates like a brace around us where we're sort of kind of stuck, really. And this is really what feeling stiff is, and this is what people say, oh, it's like I'm just getting old, but it's actually a learned, you know, pattern. It's something that you've habituated, and the good news about it is that you can unlearn that.
Oh, that is good. That's definitely good. That's definitely good. Thank
Yeah,
you for sharing that. So it really is whether our body, how our body moves, that we respond to things that are going on in our lives and how we hold ourselves. And then our stress response also, and then also to do with whether or not we've had an injury or some sort of pain as well. And somatic education can help with all three of those things, Claudine.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So it's a learning process of gradually undoing and teaching the brain actually to let go of those muscles. In fact, you can do this with me. If you think about, let's just take your bicep muscle, right? We all know the biceps there, right? You can hold your bicep muscle. Now, if you were to contract that, so you were going down the gym and you thought, right, okay, I'm going to strengthen my biceps. So I'm going to go like that. And I shorten that muscle, right? It gets short and tight and it bulges up a bit. Yeah. And so we know that's tense, that's tight.
Mhm.
So then we're going to relax that, and so we just start to relax the arm, and you can feel that that muscle now gets longer and softer, and we let go. So what happens with this learned pattern is that instead of fully letting go and straightening out the arm, it stays a little bit tight and a
Yeah,
little bit stuck, and over time, you know, it gets shorter and tighter. And so what we do is we come in and we say, okay, how do we tell the brain to let go of that tension? Is it enough to just relax it? Well, no, because the brain controls the muscles, and so you can have a period of relaxation, you can feel better for a while, but you're going to come back to that position because that's where your brain holds you. So what we do is, in somatic education, we use a technique called pandiculation, and that just simply means the yawning response. So we all know what it feels like to yawn, kind of like that, but it's actually a natural reset for the brain, which tells the brain, okay, you can relax and let go of those muscles. And it's the same thing as we see cats and dogs do. It's exactly the same response that we have in our brains. And so what we do is that we then start to tighten muscles a little bit tighter than they already are, to be able to then fully relax and let go of them. And that resets the length of the muscle at the level of the brain, and your nervous system kind of settles into a new kind of normal, if that makes sense.
that's so interesting because sometimes you notice yourself, like if you're really tense and you just push their muscles up, it must be something to do with within us anyway that we do. But obviously sometimes you don't realize when you've got pains to do the same thing, to tense those muscles and to release them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's so it's so interesting, Claudine.
Yeah. Well,
um
why don't we just do that together for the shoulders?
oh yeah, lovely. Yeah,
Most
I'd love
people
to
have
do
got
that. I need
tight
that.
shoulders, haven't they? So what you can do is just take a hand, put it onto one shoulder. Well, actually, before you do that, just kind of
Yeah.
check in for a moment with yourself. Just notice how you're sitting or standing. Be aware of any tension you might be holding in your neck and your shoulders. Normally, there's some there. It's not too hard to feel it. And see if you can decide from within yourself. Okay, which shoulder feels a little higher, which shoulder feels a bit more tense than the other. And that could be your working side. So for me, it's my right shoulder. So I'm going to put my hand on the right shoulder. And I just want you to just be as relaxed as you can. But imagine that you're just bringing your shoulder up towards your ear, nice and slowly, but do it really slowly so you can really feel it. And when you start to notice tension occur, I want you to just pause and I want you to feel into that tension where it is and see if you can just, like, you're turning up the dial on a radio, you're just going to turn it up a little bit to make it really, really clear in your awareness that you can feel it. And then when you've got it, I want you to consciously and voluntarily release it. You're just going to take your time and make it as smooth as you can until you feel like you can't relax that anymore. And then just stop and take a breath and let the shoulder completely relax. And then bring your hand down and just notice if that feels different and how it feels different.
Heard it when I brought my shoulder up, I heard a big crack. I was like,
Yeah,
oh God. So yeah, relaxing. It definitely feels better. I really needed that. Let us know in the comments if you joined in with that exercise, and let us know how your shoulder's feeling different to the other one as well, what you experienced with that as well. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we did that the other day when we met, and I really felt this side was my worst side, and then after we did it, it felt a lot more. And I've been actually doing that as well throughout the day to sort of, because that's where I really hold my tension, within the shoulders and the neck, like a lot of us. So that's
absolutely.
really great. That was really helpful. We've got
Yeah,
a
so
comment.
that's
Oh,
just
sorry.
gives you, sorry, that just gives you a kind of an idea of how you can feel, not just in your shoulder, but all through your body. And when you can recognize these reflex patterns of these, the action response and the withdrawal response and the trauma response, when you can recognize that inside yourself, it becomes easier and easier to kind of correct yourself and regulate yourself, and you have a better sense of what it feels like to be in your own body. And we call that somatic awareness. So you're developing this internal awareness of yourself, and you, through that process, and here's the bit that I love, is that you are the ones that gets to be responsible for yourself. You get control over your own body instead of feeling like you're at the mercy of somebody else to fix you, or some pill or something.
Yeah, yeah, it's empowering, isn't it? When you know that you can work through that yourself, and you can be aware of your own pain, and how to alleviate that as well. So it's so helpful. Thank you so much. We've got Helen Smith in the comments, and she is saying, makes perfect sense. I get terrible neck pain. Used to go to the osteopath, but learn exercises now.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that, Helen. Does anyone else use somatic, um like any sort of somatic work for any pain? And Helen said it's always on her left side. Mine's always on my left side, feels better. That's great to hear. Thank you for sharing that, Helen.
Yeah, quite often for many people, it becomes a one-sided thing.
Oh, that's
It's
interesting.
just, I mean, how do you get through life? By the time you get to middle age, right, you've usually been around the block a bit, and things happen, especially if you've been active.
Yes.
So yeah, it's very, very common that pain shows up on one side.
Oh, and why is that it shows up on one side? Do we use more one side more than the other, or how does that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're single-handed people anyway. Most of us are right-handed, some are left, but we're using our body in a particular way, so we're not, completely symmetrical.
Yeah,
But it's usually to do with, it doesn't take much. Maybe you sprained your ankle once, or I don't know, fell off your bike, or anything like that. It depends how your nervous system responds, and it'll hold muscles tighter on one side to protect the area that's hurt. So that gets stuck in the nervous system, and so that's why there's oftentimes, you know maybe somebody's told you one leg is longer than the other, or something like that. It's all connected.
that's thank you for sharing that. We have a comment from Myra. She's saying, hello, guidance, please. And a beautiful butterfly and hearts there. What about pain in your right foot when you walk?
Yeah, hi Myra. Yeah, it's what I've just described, actually. So when you have pain in your foot or any part of the body that's on one side, at some point in time, the center of your body has become affected by these reflex patterns or habits. So um, if you are stuck in this kind of sensory motor amnesia, as I've described, where your brain has kind of learned a pattern, it feels normal to you, but you're not aware of what's going on. But something in the center of your body is holding you, which is causing a discrepancy in the way that you're walking and moving, which is creating pain in your foot. So these reflexes that I've described, they get held in the center of the body. So even though you've got pain in your foot, if I was to work with you as my client, I would be starting in the center of your body to release the tension that's held in the muscles in the center that kind of pull you off to one side. So I hope that
That's
makes sense. It's kind of a different approach than the way that we've kind of been led to think about the body. Most people, when you go and you say, oh, I've got pain in my foot, they look at your foot and they massage your foot or do something to your foot. But in actual fact, the body works as a system, right? It's all part of the same cloth. So we've got to look at it, in that way.
That's so interesting. Because you just so I was thinking maybe you had an exercise for the foot, but as you're saying, because the body's a system, you can treat another part of the body, the as you said, the center of the body, because that's what's help stopping her from walking evenly, and
Yeah,
that's what's causing it could be causing the pain there. So I've got a
absolutely. Yeah.
comment here from Hannah as well. She said, "Will it help?" I th
I think she means sciatica. Do you mean
Sciatica,
sciatica?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, sciatica is something I used to experience as well, and yeah, absolutely, it can help with sciatica. Again, it's what I've just described. It's usually on one side of the body, yeah, because we're putting weight more on one side. So there's a little usually a little holding of the waist muscles on one side and also the back. Sciatica is very much about the lower back. So when you can start to learn how to properly release and control those muscles, um, you can relieve the tension that creates that nerve irritant which causes sciatica. So yeah, for sure.
How long would you need to do? Would you need to work through the somatic exercises? Myra's saying, what exercise can I do for that?
So the first thing you do with this approach is you start to learn and sense your body. So the first thing I usually get people to do is just to lie or stand. And first of all, just notice, and we can do this together, whether you're sitting or standing, but just notice, where's the weight? So if you're standing up, where's the weight in your feet? Is it more on the right or the left? Or if you're sitting, is it more on the right side of your pelvis or the left side? And the first thing you need to do is start to tune in and become aware of the pattern that's holding. Now, let's just say, for example, that you have more weight on your right leg or your right hip. Let's just say it could be the left. If it's the left, think about the left. So one thing that we can do is to um, put the hands onto the ribs. And let's just say if it's the right side, put your right hand onto your right ribs. And then just draw the ribs down into the waist. Let your head come with you. And feel the ribs and the waist on the right side just tighten up a little bit. And could you, in that position, just take your left arm up or the opposite arm up towards the ceiling and just kind of breathe in and open the other side so that you've got one side tight, the right side tight, and the left side is open. And then just bring the arm down and then release that right side. Just very slowly release the tension in that right side and take a breath into that right side. And that's one thing that can help you just to come back a little bit more balanced from right to left. And as I say, that's the center of the body that we're starting with. And in this way, you can start to undo it. So it's hard for me to kind of describe all the different exercises because they're not really just exercises. They're getting you to actually sense and feel your own body. And based on what you feel, that's where we go. We go into those patterns. But if
So
that's
it's
something
all about
I was going to say, if that's something you're interested in and knowing more about, Myra, you can have my details and we could talk about that further.
Thank you, Claudine. I'm sure that was really helpful for Myra as well. But so it's all about your awareness of your body and where are you actually storing that pain. That's sort of the first step. And then
First
the
step.
exercises will come after that as well, once you're aware of where actually, as it might be in the foot, as you said, but actually it's to do with the center of the body and it's all interconnected. So that makes sense. And oh, Myra's saying that she felt lighter. She's saying, yes, please. So how
Okay.
can people work with you, Claudine? This goes nicely into that. How do people work with you? And how can people find you?
What I like to do first of all is just have a chat with people.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like there are certain people that perhaps it's not a good fit for at this time.
Mm.
So I have a chat and we just talk about what you're struggling with. So yeah, you can do that by well, on my website. If you go to claudinemartin.com, under work with me, there's a link to my calendar, and you can just book in, and that's just a 45-minute free possibility of call, I call it. So you can just book in for that. We have a chat, look at you, how you're holding, your nervous system is holding you, and we can go from there.
Wonderful. And how long would somebody normally be working with you as well?
So my program that I work with people is 6 months, because what I find is it's a learning journey rather than a quick fix, and it's not just do this exercise and that's that. It's
Yeah.
about understanding yourself, and I find that takes some time. You're trying to overcome this sensory motor amnesia, as I've described, which in itself is kind of like a feeling of like being stuck. So it just takes a bit of time. So 6 months is where I find works for a lot of my clients. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. And um, so can people work with you online or is this in person? How can people work with you?
Both. Yeah. I work
Both.
primarily
Brilliant.
online, but obviously if people are local, they can come and see me too.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. And we've got Helen in the comment as well. She said, I find lemongrass and lavender oil helps with neck as well. I'm gonna have to try that, Helen, because my neck feels so heavy at the moment. So definitely need
Yeah,
that. Thank
essential
you
oils
for
are great, aren't
sharing.
they? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And we've got a question from Louise as well,
Yeah.
Claudine, and she's saying, so would you say sickness, pain is the mind? If you rebalance your soul, will fix all the mindset predicted and can self-heal in your own faith?
I would absolutely say, yeah. I mean, the mind and body are completely linked, aren't they? And we know that what happens in our body affects our minds. If we're in pain or if we're struggling physically, it's going to affect our mind. But similarly, what affects our mind also affects us physically. In fact, there's nothing that goes through the mind that doesn't have a response in the physical body. Um, so yes, if you work with your mind, you're going to help your body, and there is mindset stuff to go with this, of course, because
Mm.
we've got all this programming and conditioning about the way we think about things. um, if you're talking about faith, if you're talking about you, the soul, the person inside the body and covered by the mind, yeah, I mean, all of this is just about the physical body and the mind, and it's about how we live in this world that we're in. But going beyond all of that, of course, is the fact that this body is not me. This is just a vehicle that I'm in. So um, yeah, you can still have physical issues, but still be completely okay inside if you understand that truth. But what we're really talking about here is, okay, how do I live in more ease in my body whilst I'm in it? Does that make sense? And with my mind, yeah.
Thank you, Claudine, and thank you, Louise, for your question as well. Has anyone else got anything they'd like to ask Claudine as well? Put it in the chat box, and you can also come on Zoom if you wish as well. You can come and be here with us. You can have your face up here with us as well. So let us know if anybody wants to come and just have a chat with Claudine and ask any questions. Helen is saying, so true. I was grieving last year and went through so many aches and pains and started with panic attacks. but learnt to relax and stretch more and feel better. Thank you for sharing that, Helen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Richard saying as well that I think we learned that a few weeks ago as well. When you're having a panic attack, rubbing on that area of your chest as well really helps, or just tapping on that collarbone as well. We had that the other week with Joe, who came in, the EFT
Yeah.
practitioner as well. So do you get a lot of people that are going through grief as well, Claudine, and they might not be able to know why they're feeling the way they're feeling within their body, like the pains and aches that they're getting, how it manifests within the body? Does that happen quite a lot for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people that come to me have had kind of some sort of experience. I mean, we all do, don't we, right? I mean, we all experience grief, we all experience trauma, we all experience different things at different times in our life. So usually people, when they come to me, they've got a story. I had this injury, but there were other things that had gone on in my life and happened, and so it's building up and understanding that there's a picture behind it, but it doesn't have to be who we are going forward into the future. You know, it's just our nervous system has responded to these things. It's not who we are; they just happen to us, and that we have the possibility to move through that and to change how it's held in our nervous system. So I guess it's really about, okay, this thing is finished now. I've gone through this
Yeah.
process, whatever it is, grief, stressful life event, right? We've all had those. How is that being still held in my nervous system? And if I could let go of all of that stuff, how would it be to just be done with it and, you know, and move through? And then of course being able to, when something else comes, how do we then deal with that, and how can we be more resilient in the future?
Yeah, that's wonderful. So you're teaching people that resilience as well. You're giving everyone the tools to be able
Absolutely.
to let go of what it is within their body. So and having the awareness of where they're feeling it and
Absolutely.
maybe
And
why.
exactly, and it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And I mean, I've been doing this now for nearly 10 years. But and I was talking to a client earlier today that, I still feel better today than I did last year,
Oh
and I
wow.
felt better last year than I did the year before. And so it's this understanding that we can continually improve as we get older. So this work actually comes from the knowledge and understanding of somebody called Thomas Hanna, and you can look it up. It's Hanna Somatics, and he wrote a book called Somatics: Reawakening the Mind's Control of the Body. Um, and his whole book is about this myth of aging, of this kind of idea that as we get older, we're supposed to decline and just kind of seize up, and that it's a normal thing. And so his whole thing was about busting that myth and going, actually, we've got this capacity in our brains for learning and controlling our bodies, and we've just lost that ability over time through these stress responses, but we can actually regain it. So that's my message to you. So if you're feeling a little bit old and just know that you know that you've got much more potential for growing old gracefully, getting more freedom as you get older. So yeah.
That's amazing. And yeah, we all think to ourselves, I wake up and I'm like, I feel like I'm getting old because I do feel stiff and I'm not moving how I used to be able to
Yeah,
move. And then you
exactly.
get all of a sudden you pull your leg or your arm or something. So it's wonderful to know that we don't have to be in that pain, and we don't have to be like that as well. And all the time, like we get these aches and pains and we go to the doctors and we get the pills, we get the medication for it, but actually there's something even deeper. We've just lost that awareness of our body and how we're our posture and how we're carrying ourselves as well. So
Absolutely.
that's wonderful. We've got a question here from Margie. What can you say about deep grief and the effects on mind and body, how it is stored and released when grief is sometimes carried for the remainder of your life?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the question, Margie. like you say, it can be carried for the rest of your life. You know, if you're grieving something or somebody, you may never ever get over that loss. Um, and you can experience that that's a loss in your heart, you know. Um, and I'm not saying that that will never ever go away, but the response of it, the holding, the deep kind of holding of that, some of that can be overcome by releasing the way that it's stored in your nervous system as tension. So sometimes people find doing this work actually helps them move through that grief and actually come to terms with it and find a new relationship with it. So
Thank
yeah,
you
I hope
so
that makes
much.
sense.
Thank you so much, Claudine, and thank you, Margie, for your question also. We you're also, there's an event coming up, isn't there, Claudine? Did you want to tell our SPTV audience about the event that's upcoming?
Yeah, we've got an event happening on the 20th of April, and it's an in-person event. So if you're
Mm.
local, um, come along to that, and you'll have a chance to work with lots of wonderful different therapists on that day. I think there's going to be readers there. There's going to be massage therapists. There's going to be Reiki practitioners and energy healers and that kind of thing. And I'll also be there offering um, little taster treatment sessions as well. So yeah, if you're local to the Surrey area, then do come along to that.
Wow, that sounds absolutely wonderful. And where exactly is the event, Claudine?
It's in a place called Windlesham in
Windlesham.
Surrey, which is just outside of London. So um, yeah, you can find the details, I think, of that on the. If you're not already a member, come over to Facebook and join the group, the Holistic Community Hub, and you'll find all the details in there. Um,
That sounds
that's all
wonderful.
I
Just
know
a
of that. Yeah,
taster of all the
yeah,
different things. I'd be
exactly.
like a kid
Yeah,
in a sweet shop.
yeah,
Honestly, that sounds so fantastic. And you'll be there as well offering that. But you also do, as you said, offer these 45-minute calls to see
yeah,
if
absolutely.
somatic, if you're able to
Yeah.
work with that person as well. And it's about 6 months as well that you'll be working with yourself through that process as well. We have a question from Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Anything that can help with multiple sclerosis and being an amputee, please?
Okay, Tracy. Yeah. So the method I just described of like this kind of contracting and releasing can be very helpful just to kind of bring back more stability in the nervous system, especially when you're experiencing I don't know if you experience flare-ups or how it is. Obviously the fact that you're an amputee means that you've already got that physical restriction. There's nothing we can do about that, but still your body and your brain has accommodated for that. So yeah, there's lots of possibility to still make some changes that can help you to feel better than you do. um, there's always a possibility, for some change. To what degree, we can't always say because everybody's different, but yeah, there's absolutely. um, and one of the things, like, in fact, why don't let's do a couple of little exercises together and see if you feel any different. So does that sound all right, Laura? Should we do that?
Yeah, brilliant.
All
Yeah,
right.
fantastic.
um, so if you sit down, if you're able to sit down, most of you are probably sitting down. Put your feet on the floor and just close your eyes for a moment, and I just want you to just tune in to physical sensation again, just like you did before. Just want you to notice what you notice. And let me just ask you this: can you stop sensing? Is that actually possible? And what you realize is no, we're constantly sensing something. So tune into the sensation that you sense and just see, is that a particular type of sensation? Is it weight? Is it tension? What do you notice? And then shift yourself slightly so that you get a different sensation and notice something new. And just be aware of the fact that you have control over that. You've been able to feel something, you've been able to shift, and you've been able to feel something else. Right? And this is the ability that we have. This is the ability of our control over our sensory motor system. And so I'd like you to just now put your hands onto your lower belly and just let your attention come to your hands. So you've got some feedback there for your brain. And could you breathe in and see if you could expand your hands with your breath, so that as you breathe in, your belly moves forwards, and as you breathe out, your belly moves back. Now, just with that awareness, could you just start to move your pelvis forwards? And what I mean by that is I want you to kind of stick your belly out a little bit more and arch your back a little bit. Just arch your back and see if you can feel a little bit of tension in your lower back. And as you breathe out, I want you to consciously relax, not just the belly, but also the lower back. Just relax the back. That's it. And then do that again. Just breathe in, relax the belly, let it go forwards, and let the back arch. And then relax the back. Now pause. Now could you bring one hand up onto the front of your ribs and keep the other hand onto your lower belly, and just feel that space between the two hands. And now we're going to do the opposite. I want you to breathe in, and as you breathe out, could you bring the top hand towards the bottom hand, and feel that you're tightening your stomach muscles a bit now as you do that. And then slowly relax and breathe in. And take a pause, just take a resting breath, and let's do that again. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, bring the two hands closer together. And actually that's the effect that the worry and stress has on us. It tightens this abdominal muscle and pulls us forwards like this. Now slowly breathe in and release. And then take a breath. Now relax the arms down by your sides. And let's add in the rest of the body to these two movements, and we'll go back and forth a couple of times. So I want you to just breathe in and send your belly forwards and arch your back, and just arch all the way up, and you can take your head back a little bit. And then as you breathe out, go the other way and start to round your back and feel your belly getting a bit tighter, and bring your arms forwards and just let your head drop forwards. And then breathe in and just come back to what feels like to be straight, what feels like to be vertical, and just pause there for a moment. Take a breath, and let's just do that a couple more times. So breathe into your belly and arch your back, and take your shoulders back and let your head lift up, and see if you can feel length all the way through the front of the body, all the way up to the chest. And now go the other way, and I want you to do this as you breathe out. So if you need an extra breath, do that. Just exhale and drop your chin to your chest, and see if you can round your back. So you're coming into a slump, coming into that slump. And then breathe in slowly. And as you breathe in slowly, see if you can find what feels like being straight. And then pause and take another breath. And let's just do that one more time. Breathe in, make a nice arch. And see if you can really allow the belly to move forwards and the chest to open. And then as you breathe out, round yourself, drop your head forwards, round your back, and you're tightening, feel the front of the body closing and tightening. Now, as you come back to sit up, could you do that really slowly and feel that you're trying to let go of any tension in the front of the body, in your belly, in your ribs, in your chest, and let your shoulders relax, and relax the arms, and let everything hang. Take a breath and just see if anything has changed. So close your eyes again if you've opened them, and just notice sensation. See what changes have occurred. And Tracy, you're saying that you don't feel balanced when your eyes are shut. So don't shut your eyes if that feels uncomfortable. Just stay in comfort. And you can do it with your eyes closed or open. I was just asking you to just to sense what you feel at the end, and just see, is there something different? Has something changed? So this is the point, is that we have this ability to change something, not just temporarily, but we can keep changing it and keep improving it. So I hope you feel a little bit different after that, and that you perhaps can breathe a little bit more easily. And maybe you're sitting a bit straighter. I don't know, whatever it is for you, right? But the point is that, yeah, you did that for yourself.
That was brilliant. That was really wonderful, Claudine. I actually feel like my shoulder felt really tight when you're asking us to just scan through the body there. And after that, it feels so much better. So thank you for that. I'm gonna definitely be trying that later on as well, because it's the more we do the exercises as well and have that awareness of where it is in the body, that
Yeah.
helps us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about the awareness, and it's all about taking back more voluntary control of what's actually going on, instead of just kind of like being a bit disconnected.
Brilliant. And Myra's saying she felt a couple of cracks.
All right, yeah.
Felt good. Yeah, them cracks always
Those
feel really
cracks,
good,
well,
don't
that's
they?
tension. That's tension, right? When you feel cracks, it's sort of like there's something holding there. So yeah,
And Helen is saying it's really is good to do breathing exercises. I feel it's released a lot and I feel calmer. That's
yeah,
wonderful. That's
yeah. Thank you for
brilliant.
that, Helen. Yeah, and you're right. It doesn't take very much. We sort of, sometimes we think, oh, it needs to be complicated. It doesn't. And how long did it take? Just a couple of minutes to do that. So bring it into your day. Yeah,
That's wonderful. And Helen Smith is saying she loved that. She put a little flower as well. So thank you so much, Claudine. And Louise is saying floating relaxed. That
okay.
sounds good.
Yeah,
It's nice to be floating on air when you feel that relaxed.
yeah.
Felt Myra is saying felt release in areas. It works.
Good, good, Myra. I'm glad you felt.
We are about to go on a commercial break, so we will see you in 2 minutes' time.
Introducing the SPTV app, your digital spiritual guide for an enlightening journey like no other. Immerse yourself in a world of audio and visual content crafted to inspire, educate, and entertain. Seek guidance with our card of the day, choosing up to 6 cards for personal insights. Enhance your daily life with our wellness section, featuring nutritious recipes, affirmations, and balanced living tips. Explore our spiritualism section for a deep understanding of the religion, its principles, and spiritual answers. Unravel the secrets of the clairs and broaden your spiritual horizon. Easily find local readers, therapists, centers, or churches with our comprehensive directory. Stay connected with live broadcasts, check our schedule, and get to know our insightful presenters. Delve into the meanings of angel numbers, crystals, and a comprehensive list of divination meanings. All of this and more, available for free on the SPTV app. Download now at sptv.uk/app and start your journey with your digital spiritual guide.
This evening at 8 p.m, join Clara for a night filled with mediumship teachings and readings, featuring special guests. Tomorrow night from 8 p.m, SPTV is joined by another guest who will be demonstrating their mediumship abilities by offering free readings to our viewers.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Awaken Within. And we've just had a wonderful, nearly an hour's talk with Claudine Martin, who is a clinical somatic educator. And she's been answering all your questions and talking about her journey and talking about how somatic work can really help you in your life, relieving that stress, relieving that pain, and going through some exercise, some amazing exercises with us. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you go back to the beginning again and have a good watch through, because there's some absolute jewels of wisdom in there. To let everyone know as well, if they can share the show, share it with friends, share it with anybody who this might help as well. Let's reach as many people as we can. Remember to like, remember to comment, and also SBTV has the app as well, which you can download, and it is free to download, and it is for Android at the moment. So download the app. We also are on TikTok. So if you are on TikTok, then give us a follow as well. And I think, Richard, could you put that comment up that was just on there, please? Serendipity saying, I'm going to work now. See you later. See you later, Serendipity. Thanks for coming on the show today. And Helen is saying, my stomach started gurgling. I'm not hungry. I think it was reading the bad in my body. Does that
Right.
make sense, Claudine? How
Yeah,
does
you
that
just feel like
work?
what's going on. And this is the thing, you know, muscular tension has all sorts of effects that we have no idea about. But one of them is that, you know, it keeps our digestive system, um, it has an effect on the digestive system. So when you start to release some of the muscles there, everything starts moving again. So quite often that happens to me as well. And a lot of people, when I teach them, they're kind of like, oh God, I'm sorry, my stomach's rumbling and I'm not even hungry. It's just that. It's just this release of tension that's allowing things to kind of move again. So it's good. It's good news, not bad.
That's brilliant. What other ways does the body show us? Is there like yawning and bits and pieces like that our body does?
Yeah, yawning is, you know, the need for more oxygen. So usually if we're yawning a lot, it could be that the muscles in the front of the body are holding and stopping the diaphragm from moving as much. So you're not getting quite as much oxygen in. And other, like I have people come with all sorts of kind of other symptoms. It might not be the main thing, but they just in passing they say, oh yeah, well, I don't sleep very well. Or they might say, what else might they say? Um, I've got an issue with digestion, or I've got pelvic pain, or I've got, you know, something else that is kind of like something they've just learned to live with. And
Yeah,
they find that clears up as well when they start working in this way. So, yeah,
it's amazing.
insomnia's, yeah, you're, Louise, you're asking about insomnia. It can definitely help insomnia because if you think about how the stress responses get held in the body, if you are going to sleep with that level of tension in your body, you never get to fully, completely relax. And so sleep can be difficult for people. So we do find that, you know, when you start doing this work, because sleep can improve. It's
Thank you
not
so
it's not
much.
quite a magic pill, but it kind of is.
Oh, it sounds like it.
Yeah,
It's wonderful, because then it brings us again back to self, and we can regulate ourselves as well after you take us through all the steps as well. So it
yeah,
sounds so
absolutely, absolutely.
wonderful. Thank you, Louise, for that comment. I am going to be offering some free live card readings this morning. I've got the Oracle cards already. So is there anybody who would like a reading this morning? Let me know in the comments. Hi, Gail. She's saying hello, just joining from Australia. Um, Um, and Tracy, can I give you a reading? She's saying, an amazing team you are. Oh, we are. We are indeed. It's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful show. I've learned so much. I'd sort of looked into somatics before, but this has really helped me sort of piece it all together, and it's helped so many people in the audience as well. So let us know how you're all feeling after doing those exercises as well, like where it's sort of releasing your body, and if you'll be doing it as well, doing it daily. So I'm going to give a card pull to Tracy. So I'm just giving these cards a lovely shuffle. I feel like this one. I've got here this beautiful card for you. It says, come to the edge. So I'm just feeling as though this card is asking you to come out of your comfort zone at the moment. It's asking you to try and look at yourself a different way, to find that love for yourself as well in order for you to move forward. And I feel like sometimes this is quite hard for you. But it's calling you, it's beckoning you to just to take that leap of faith that you need to moving forward at the moment. She's dancing, and she's dancing in hearts there. So it looks very beautiful card there, Tracy. And as I feel in that, I just feel as though you're feeling quite stressed at the moment as well, and that's really going to help you. I just feel like some sort of movement, small movement, getting in touch with your body is really going to help you as well, to be able to combat where you are at the moment, to be able to move forward with that, and to find that self-love as well, to find that love of self again. And it's going to help you really move forward to where that you want to be in your life. And I feel like there's something you've been mulling over in your head recently, and you're like, I'm not sure if I should do it. And for me, this card is confirmation that to go ahead and take that leap of faith and to do it, Tracy. So I hope that's helped you, and let me know if it resonated with you as well. So I'm going to do some more card readings. And even the somatic exercises that you've shown, Claudine, is that movement as well. Can I come to Claire, please, Richard? Claire Benson. Hi, Claire. Thank you. She's saying, yes, please. She'd like a card reading. So I'm going to give them a shuffle there. Myra's saying, yes, card, this help. I am less stiff, still crackling, and popping my bones were tight. I really love this live. Oh, thank you so much. It it's still crackling and popping, feel like Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
And Sandra is saying, has been an amazing morning, ladies. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Sandra.
Sandra. Thank you.
And Tracy's saying thank you for her reading as well. So back to Claire. Let me see what card I pulled for you. I'm just going to give you some guidance at the moment. I like this. I like a bit of serendipity. So I like this card, looking at it for you. I'm feeling as though sometimes, Claire, that it feels as though things can sometimes be falling apart for you. It's just been one thing after another. It's feeling as though it's they're like all the little things that go wrong throughout the day, but it feels like it's building into one sort of big thing. And I feel like this card is asking you to look for the signs, look for a different way of looking at things, look for the positive in the situations that you're going through as well, because I feel like you're being led to a really positive outcome with something that you're not expecting. So I feel for you to really look out for the signs, the synchronicities, and ask for them as well. Ask for a sign. Ask your guides and your helpers and the other side just to give you a sign of where you need to go on your journey, and it will be given to you as well. And if because when we ignore those signs, when we think to ourselves, oh, I don't know if that was a sign, but I felt like it was a sign, they'll just keep coming, they'll keep coming in, and it will be like being hit over the head with a sledgehammer, because they're going to be so obvious to you. So keep doing what you're doing at the moment and try looking on the positive side of things. Follow the path that you're on at the moment. Ask for those signs, look out for those signs, and really believe and have the faith that where it is that you want to get to, you're going to be getting there. I feel like it's a really positive card. It's almost like that surrender as well, surrendering to the universe and just allowing it to go with the flow of where you need it to go. Sometimes there is turbulence and it's not always a straightforward journey, but ultimately it's going to get you to where you need to at the moment, Claire. So you're saying thank you. It's my absolute pleasure. I hope that's helped you. Who else would like a card? Just keep commenting in the comment box below and share if you are able to as well, guys. Shuffle. Could I come to Angie, please? And she's saying, I would love to have a card or a reading. I lost two special people 10 months apart. Oh, I'm so sorry, Angie. Having a really hard time. I will pull you a card. See what I get through. Card for you. Ah. I love this card. I had this, I was doing card readings yesterday and this popped up for me twice. It's a beautiful card. It says deep knowing. And I just feel at the moment, I know you've said that you're going through grief at the moment. You've lost two special people to you 10 months apart and you're having this hard time at the moment. But I just feel as though you need to go, there's something that's going on for you. There's a decision that you want to make and you're, I don't know whether you're fighting with yourself, like wondering if you're good enough, if this is for you, and you've got all these fears and doubts sort of coming in as well, because I feel like you're very hard on yourself, and you don't give yourself credit where credit's due as well, and I think that happens a lot when we feel quite down and we feel quite low. Our thoughts start becoming in that pattern. But I feel like within you, you've got this deep knowing and you've got this understanding that everything, all the opportunities that are coming forward for you are meant for you. And that if you don't feel ready for some of them at the moment, it's okay to take that break as well. But some of them, I feel like you really need to hold on to and you really need to go for what it is that you want at the moment as well. And it's about looking, some of the opportunities might seem to you as though they're not exactly what you wanted, but I feel as though they're like stepping stones to get you to where you need to be. Sometimes that bridge of incidences sort of comes in and there's all these different nuances that come in and lead us to where we actually need to be, but we've got to take those little stepping stones first. So I'm feeling as though you need to really trust your gut at the moment, and if you've got those doubts within you, to just go forward, push forward with what you're doing, because I feel like this is a really good sign for you. That deep knowing as well, you already know what it is and you've got a lot of wisdom as well. You've been through a lot. I just feel like you're at the stage in your life where you've learnt an awful lot from things that have happened in the past, and I don't feel like you're going to be making, you're not going to make those same mistakes. I'm going to put little bunny ears up there because they're experiences and we all learn. And you're saying thank you so much. That's so true. That's my pleasure, Angie. I'm going to pull one more card. And I'd like to come to Sandra, please, Richard. And she's saying, would love to be drawn to. So I'm coming to you, Sandra. I hope you're still here. Okay, fan these out. And that one I feel is yours. The Fates. Oh, I love this card. So you have the fates here. And that's a lovely card to get. I'm just feeling as though I feel like you're in quite a good place at the moment, Sandra. I feel like things are, I feel like you've done a lot of work on your mindset and how you're looking at a situation as well, because as most of us know that sometimes you can't change the situation you're in. You just have to find a different way of looking at it, a different perception, a different perspective to look at a situation. I feel like you've been doing a lot of work with that lately. And I feel as though you're also, I don't know if you're worried about a situation passing you by, a situation at the moment, and I feel as though it's something to do with work, or it's something to do with something quite sort of serious at the moment. And I don't know if you feel like something's passed you by, but if it's meant for you, it will never pass you by. That's what I want to say to you as well. And I feel like it's written in the stars, as we know, the fates are something that's already, it's already meant, it's already on our life path. It's already meant for us. So it's never going to pass us by. Sometimes we just take a different route to it, and within that route, maybe it's a longer route, maybe more windy, maybe more bumpy, and we learn so much on that route as well, because when we are feeling we're on that straight road, we get a bit more comfortable, don't we? So when we do take a little bit of a detour, and things get a bit bumpy, things get a bit hairy at times, we grow that much more. So I feel like this is the sort of process that you've been in at the moment, and it's just the advice is just to hold faith, just to hold faith that it will work out in your favor. It might not look exactly how you wanted it to look, but it will benefit you so much, this situation, how it will change. Just have that faith and know that it is written, and keep doing what you're doing, because I feel like you've done a lot of work on yourself, and it's really, really shining, and you're really showing, Sandra. So thank you also. So you've put thank you there. So thank you also. So we have come to the end of the show, and it has been such a wonderful show today, for sure. I just want to say thank you so much, Claudine, for your advice, and speaking about somatics, and
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and I hope
oh,
you found something in what we shared today and that something was useful and you can take away from
100%.
what I said.
And it really has been. And let us know in the comments as well. Keep writing in the comments about how it's helped you today. And we'll read your comments out also. And Sandra's saying it hasn't been the easiest to work out the best way forward. And I just feel like you know that as well. You're gonna find your way. It will work itself out. And I just feel like patience is really gonna help you, Sandra. So just to add on to your card reading then. So we are coming to the end of the show now, as I've said, and a big thank you to Claudine, and a big thank you to you all at home for joining us today, and to being so wonderful with your wonderful comments, your wonderful questions as well, and taking part, because that's really what makes SPTV so special, is our family that we have. And Louise is saying thank you both for sharing. Thank you so much for coming on. And Myra's saying he helped me truly. So I think she said you've helped her truly. So that's so wonderful to hear that, Myra. And Tracy is saying amazing, and thank you so much, Tracy, for coming on today. We really, oh, it's been so lovely. Wonderful show, ladies, from Sandra. Thank you so much, Sandra. And I'll be back in 2 weeks with Adele, and we are having we're having a medium on as well, another medium. She's going to be speaking about the way that she works with the spirit world as well. So it's going to be a really exciting show. We have this evening on SPTV at 8 p.m. we have Clara with her show on mediumship and learning. So be sure to go and support her, and to enjoy that as well if you're able to, at 8 p.m. this evening. But again, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that joined us. Angie saying thank you all so much, with the love heart there. So thank you all so much for joining us, and remember to share out this feed. Remember to download the SPTV app if you haven't already as well. It's totally free. There's lots of different information on there as well. There's meditations, there's recipes, there's information about spiritualism, and there's lots about wellness as well on there. So we can all add it to our bag of tools that we're learning over the last few months as well. The wonderful people that have come on the show to share those tools and those jewels of wisdom with us. So I want to say thank you so much again, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you.